He had minutes left. The senior cardiologist walked into the emergency room, pulled on her latex gloves, and in that moment, his face went pale. Not because of the heart attack, but because he recognized her. The village girl he called too local, too bush, not his level. The one he publicly humiliated under the mango tree 12 years ago. And now, she held his life in her hands. This is how karma works. Not with noise, with irony. 12 years ago, Enugu State, a small village where everyone knew everyone's business. Obi was 22, handsome, loud, from one of those families that owned the only two-story building in the area. His father sold spare parts in the city. His mother was a secondary school principal. And Obi? He was convinced he was destined for bigger things than village life. That dry season, he met Ada properly at the community borehole. She was the quiet girl who always carried borrowed textbooks, wearing the same two dresses she rotated every week. But she had something, intelligence that made even the elders pause when she spoke. The kind of girl who memorized entire chemistry equations while fetching water. She wasn't flashy, but she was determined. For 3 weeks, Obi was different around her. He'd wait by the path to her house, share roasted plantain with her. He even told her his dreams, how he'd go to Lagos, make money, build an empire. And for those 3 weeks, Ada let herself believe she could be part of that future. Then his friends saw them together. Under the big mango tree where the whole village gathered, his best friend Emeka shouted across the clearing, "Obi, now this bush girl you day follow." The laughter was loud enough that market women turned to stare. Obi had a choice in that moment. He looked at Ada, then at his friends. Then he made the choice that would haunt him for 12 years. He laughed, a loud, mocking laugh that echoed across the village square. "A beg, this girl? Me? I can never settle for someone so local. My level is different now." The boys erupted. One of them said, "She no even sabi wear modern clothes." Another added, "Village girls like her can't even pronounce half the things we say in the city." Ada stood there, her wrapper tied around her waist, her slippers worn from walking to school every day. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She did something that confused everyone watching. She smiled, a small, quiet smile. Then she picked up her books and walked away. What Obi didn't know, that smile wasn't acceptance. It was a promise to herself. Ada went home that evening to their small zinc-roofed house. Her mother was pounding yam in the backyard. Ada told her everything, every word, every laugh. Her mother stopped pounding, wiped her hands on her wrapper, and said something that changed Ada's entire life. "My daughter, God has shown you who that boy is. Thank him. Now use that anger like firewood. Let it burn and cook something good for your life." Ada packed her bags that week. She didn't announce it to the village. She simply left for the city with the little money she had saved from selling fruits at the market. Getting into medical school wasn't easy. Ada worked 3 jobs: house help in the morning, shop attendant in the afternoon, night lessons for jam on borrowed textbooks. She wrote the exam 4 times. 4. While Obi was in Lagos chasing quick money with his friends, Ada was in a one-room apartment in Nsukka, studying using candles because no light. Medical school was brutal. 14-hour study days. Clinical rotations in government hospitals where equipment barely worked. Nights she considered quitting because her stipend couldn't cover both food and textbooks. But every time doubt crept in, she'd remember that mango tree. That laughter. She became obsessed. Not with revenge, with excellence. By her final year, she'd been selected for a prestigious residency program in Lagos, the most competitive medical hub in Nigeria. 10 years after that mango tree incident, Dr. Adeobi Okoye, Ada, had become a senior consultant cardiologist at one of Lagos's top private hospitals. She'd mentored 15 junior doctors, published research papers, saved lives that other doctors said were beyond help. She still visited her village every Christmas, still greeted the elders properly, kneeling to show respect. The same Ada, just evolved. She'd also married a fellow doctor who had watched her work for 2 years before quietly asking her father for permission to court her. They had a son, a peaceful life, a chosen life. Obi, meanwhile, had gotten exactly what he wanted. The Lagos hustle, the big dreams. Except the dreams never materialized. Wrong investments, bad friends who disappeared when money ran out, and a body that had started breaking down from stress and poor diet. It happened on a Tuesday evening during Lagos traffic. Obi was in a Danfo bus heading home. His chest started feeling tight. By the time the bus got to Ojalegba, he couldn't breathe. Someone shouted, "This man is dying, oh." The conductor panicked and rerouted to the nearest hospital. They rushed him into emergency. Monitors beeped. Someone shouted, "Get the senior consultant. His vitals are crashing." And that's when Dr. Adebayo Okoye was called. She walked into that emergency room in her white coat, stethoscope around her neck. She looked at the chart first. Critical myocardial infarction. Severe. Then she looked at the patient's face. Time stopped. Her hand froze. Obi. Older. Thinner. The arrogance gone, replaced by desperation and pain. But it was him. The boy from the mango tree. For exactly 4 seconds, she felt something complex rise in her chest. His heart was failing. Fast. She had a choice. A professional choice. She could step back. Call another doctor. Recuse herself. She thought about this for exactly those 4 seconds. Then she thought about the moment she'd walked away with her borrowed books and worn slippers. The moment she'd decided his opinion of her didn't get to write her story. And she made a decision that had nothing to do with revenge. It had to do with the oath she'd taken. The doctor she'd become. She snapped into full professional mode. Dr. Ada went to work. Not as the village girl he'd rejected. As the most qualified person in that room. She cleared his artery with precision. She placed 2 stents. She brought him back when his heart stopped for 43 seconds. She saved his life. When Obi opened his eyes hours later, she was standing there. White coat. Hospital ID badge gleaming. The woman he had called too local now literally held a medical degree with his survival written all over it. He recognized her immediately. His voice was hoarse, broken. "Ada? Not you? How, you're the doctor?" She didn't smile. Didn't gloat. She gave him facts. Clinical. Professional. Devastating in its calmness. Your left anterior descending artery was 90% blocked. You suffered a massive heart attack. You went into cardiac arrest twice. You're alive because we acted immediately. You'll need follow-up care for the next 2 years. Minimum. A pause. Then, I'll be your attending physician for recovery management. Obi tried to apologize. He whispered something about being young and foolish. Ada cut him off. Not harshly. Just efficiently. What matters now is your cardiac rehabilitation protocol. Everything else, she paused, her eyes meeting his directly, is not medically relevant. She adjusted his foredrip and walked out. That professional dismissal, treating his apology as not medically relevant, cut deeper than any insult she could have thrown, because it told him his opinion of her had never mattered. She'd become this person without needing his validation, without needing his regret, without needing him at all. Obi recovered. Physically, he watched Ada work, watched how nurses respected her, how junior doctors asked for her guidance. He realized she didn't succeed despite being from the village. She succeeded because she'd decided long ago that the village wasn't a limitation, his mindset was. He went back to his life changed. Quieter. He started volunteering at a youth mentorship program, correcting younger guys when they mocked girls for being too local or not their level. He never became wealthy, but he became humbler. And Ada? She continued saving lives, raising her son, building the legacy she'd promised herself under that mango tree 12 years ago. This isn't a story about karma served with thunder and lightning. It's about something quieter, something more powerful. It's about a girl who was told she wasn't enough and decided that the person who said it simply didn't have the vision to see where she was going. The village girl he mocked became his doctor, not as revenge, but as the natural consequence of refusing to let someone else's limitations become her ceiling. Sometimes the best response to being dismissed isn't proving them wrong. It's proving something to yourself, and then living so fully in that truth that when they finally see you again, all they can do is recognize how small their judgment was. Ada didn't need Obi's regret to validate her success. She already knew her worth. And that, right there, is the most devastating form of karma. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment where you are watching from.